Hey everybody, Kyle Micklejohn here with eXp Realty. Today on this episode, I'm with Doug Hayden with Team Hayden out of Calgary. Together, he is in his group. He's partnered with his wife Kim and his son Dexter. So they got a little family team going on there. How are you today, Doug?
Awesome. We're good. We're good. Yeah, family team. Yeah. If you can go 20 years in real estate as a family and stay a family,
Yeah.
you're doing something right or
Yeah.
for punishment. One of the two.
Yeah, you betcha. Right. Thanks for jumping on here today. It's awesome I could have you. I'm based out of Red Deer, Alberta, and Doug is just about an hour and 15 minutes to the south of me out of Calgary, Alberta. So a couple Alberta boys here. Anyways, let's get started with some questions here. So when did you start in real estate, Doug?
Okay. So my wife started doing residential in 1998, late 1998. And I was practicing commercial. Actually, there was a company here in town called SMED, and I was doing commercial work with them up until around 2000 and probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I had both residential and a commercial license.
Yeah.
And at that time, my wife honestly got things going really good. We're community-based realtors in the southeast part of the town. But my wife got so busy that I decided to join her around 2003. And then we went full team around 2004.
2004. Oh, right on. Okay. So, and what company were you associated with at that time when you started?
We were with Royal LePage, and in just 5 or 6 years, we achieved Chairman's Club status.
Yeah. Right
so
on.
With Royal LePage. Yeah. So we're in the top 1%.
Okay, right on. Yep, that's where I started my real estate career at Royal LePage as well back in 2007. So along the way, you joined eXp. What attracted you to eXp Realty?
Okay, so that's an interesting story. First of all, I didn't join eXp like most people think that we would have. So we joined a brokerage called Urban Property. So we left Royal LePage to go boutique, kind of more what was going on with, you see it in LA, like California was sort of the lead there. So we were looking for a more boutique type feel. And we ran into Willie Yip, who's currently the broker with eXp Alberta, and a guy by the name of Tom Lamb. They had both a mortgage brokerage and a real estate brokerage. So we joined them. And then about 2 years in, not quite, the mortgage end shut down. So the real estate was just sort of left on its own. So we were casting about looking, well, should we join? Do we stay on our own? Whatever. And then one of the gentlemen that was a part of Urban Property, guy by the name of DJ, he had brought the opportunity back to camp to look at. And this is early days for eXp. So you got to remember, my kids were playing games like Roadblocks.
Yeah.
The cloud office looked like Roadblocks, like a Roadblocks game, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, when we were looking at opportunities, this one was the furthest out there, the least likely for me to join. And what had happened was Glenn Santmeyer came in to talk to as many people as wanted to talk to him, talk to us. And it was kind of after that we met him. It's like, I looked at it and I go, you know what, new model, Glenn's a really cool guy. Certainly no harm, no foul, right? If all the votes cast that way, we're in either way. What was interesting was we did decide to go with eXp, right? And what was really interesting was about half the company left, right? So about half the agents left to go with Remax or Royal LePage or whatever. They didn't want to stick around anymore. And Kim and I were the first Icon agents that next year. Yeah. And there were 2 groups that left that would have achieved Icon agent as well. So, I mean, if you really want to look back at luck, whether it was luck or whatever, but it had a lot to do with it. And those folks.
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe tell the people what Icon agent is.
Well, okay, Icon agent, you hit a status with eXp, which is, again, actually, my wife helped design that program
Really?
because we achieved like the top 1% at Royal LePage. We were talking about like, where's the awards at eXp? And Glenn is really a sharp cookie, right? So Glenn and Jason, and by the way, when we met Jason Guessing, for the first time. We were at the very first eXp Con or whatever you want to call it in Chicago, and there was like 80 people, right, in a room. But when we met Jason, it was a lockdown, and Jason really understood, like, you know, how realtors feel they should be rewarded, or how they are kind of more egocentric in terms of wanting to hit higher levels and rewards. And they came up with that program, which was we reached that, you know, thing called Icon Agent. The reason it's so critical is when Glenn looked at it, it was basically you got back what would amount to desk fees, your $16,000 that we pay in every year, right, to hit cap. You would get that back in the form of shares. Well, I mean, anybody that, if you just think logically, it just makes sense. Just eXp just makes sense on that alone. If you're a true producing agent, and you can come here and you can sell 40 houses, you know, do 40 deals a year, basically your desk fees are covered in stock that's traded on NASDAQ. Now, it wasn't at the time, but where's the loss in that? Where's the downside?
Yeah, I know it's a no-brainer. I know, it's just, I love it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing was that, it started off, I mean, the cloud was kind of clunky, but it was really evident that Glenn's like a machine, man. It doesn't stop. Like, it just doesn't stop. And then we met the tech guy, Gabe, who was kind of their head of technology. And those guys they're always working. They're always a one step ahead. I mean, with Verbella, when we went out and they got Verbella, it's not just a partner, but now an acquisition, right? Just things like that place eXp so far ahead, and almost everybody else is playing catch up.
Yeah. So what year was it? Was that 2014 you started?
It was.
With eXp? Yeah, 2014. So that's when it came to Calgary. So that's actually that's quite a while ago. How many agents were there?
There was
total in the company.
In the company?
Yeah.
I believe we were agents 380 and
380. Now there's, I think, where I'm sure we're almost to 27,000.
Yeah, we got to be. Yeah, there's always attrition. Like, the attrition in real estate is something like 20%.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, but eXp tends to hang on to agents longer.
Yeah. So
right.
I think around Christmas we were cresting the 25,000 range. So we got to be. We're doing I think 1,500. They're onboarding a month currently.
And that's crazy. It's crazy because when we were in the meetings, the Friday meetings, you had 6 new agents or 10 new agents. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Now and they would name them all. Now it would take the whole meeting just to name everybody.
Oh yeah. You know, I don't know. It's so weird how I ended up here too, because
I never heard that story.
Oh yeah. I stumbled upon eXp in 2012. There's a Ben Kinney with Keller Williams. Do you know Ben Kinney? Ben Kinney. Sorry, he's a real estate trainer. And I was following him with some stuff. And then I creep on his Facebook ads because he's out of Bellingham, Washington. And here's this company, eXp, all of a sudden was everywhere, all over, surrounding his ads all of a sudden, because I was watching him for a bit. And then I read about them, their virtual brokerage, which was, in 2011, 12, that was kind of like a new, hey, that's a good idea. The cloud wasn't big, right? And then it evolved into, the shares and the revenue share and all the ICO. But I kept seeing it all the time. All of a sudden, Calgary's got eXp. Hey, there's that company again. Jay Kinder joined. Hey, that's that company again. Other friends of mine joined that are on Facebook. There's that company again. Finally, I had to watch a webinar, and I was independent, and I jumped on board with it because it was exactly what I wanted, right? So I guess what's your favorite part about eXp so far?
Honestly, my favorite part is those big meetings, like the eXp Con and that's my favorite thing. After that, it's the people. It's always the people, right? You stick, no matter what, you stick around, right, for people.
It's a lot of fun. That's kind of exactly my thing too. Is the culture. I wanted the reason why everybody's got a reason why they joined. That it's shares, it's revenue share, it's free websites, it's whatever. I love the free website thing, but my big thing too was the culture. I wanted a company with a big following or culture or community. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. North America, and it was exactly what I was looking for. Another thing I want to point out with you guys is, even though eXp is a virtual brokerage, which a lot of people think, well, I want an office, right?
Yeah.
Kept an office still, right?
Well, okay, so we have an office for a couple of reasons. It was funny because when we were at Royal LePage, we hardly ever used our office.
Yeah.
Right. I was paying for this office and I honestly hardly ever used it. We were working out of home.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because when we joined the virtual brokerage, all of a sudden we have an office.
Yeah.
Two main reasons for that. One, we moved out to an acreage, so we're kind of out of town. So we had the reason to come into town and kind of work closer. The other was that we did a lot of video production on the side. My wife had a TV show. And there's a couple other ventures that we're doing, and now we started another one, which, if you want to touch on that too, because it's sort of designed as a recruiting type tool or event, but it's very different. It's not a direct kind of in your face type of thing. But we just spend more time kind of in a different environment. So I'd say half of our focus is direct real estate, like in terms of buying and selling and helping people, right, market their homes. The other is more kind of media based and other opportunity based. So my wife is sort of separate from the team at that point and leading that charge.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. It's
so we have a podcast room and we have like a little studio and putting up a green screen, and we just did an event here, 45 women entrepreneurs. Right. So we're trying to work with different groups, and we call them, so the term influencer, right? So that's great, I think, for the 30 and under crowd. Yeah. But we decided to sit back and maybe see if there's something that we could do to integrate more with influential people, people that truly have influence, business owners and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's very interesting. I think you guys are way so far ahead of most agents with, like, just your video. I've watched you guys and I see you doing videos and all your stuff you're doing. But I think that's the future of real estate, is having an office, home office or whatever, with a studio now, with podcasting, with videos, and it's already turning into a big part of business, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and especially
and we what we're finding is that because we have this facility, we actually share it. Yeah. People come in to do podcasts on their own. But we actually have, I think there's 4 or 5 groups now, or individuals that come in and use our facility.
See, that's interesting. And it's just, we got to quit thinking of the same way of the old way of doing business. Yeah. There's even, to touch on that too, there's a law firm out of Toronto that just started. They have a coffee shop. It's a coffee shop law firm, right? Yeah. It's cool, right? It's just, it's
well, there's a ATB bank here, bank branch that opened up in Mahogany.
Yeah.
And so we obviously would go out and talk to everybody, right? We walk into this branch and it's like a tech incubator.
Yeah.
You got to look around for where the tellers are. Well, there's all these cool little spaces and everything. And that's what it is. It's a meeting place. Right?
Yeah, everything's changing out there. So the mindset has to change. It's exciting because there's a lot of opportunities out there. And like you said about the banks, there's CIBC in town here. They're in Red Deer. It's all iPads, no tellers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I walked in there. I was in, long story, but I thought I was losing my marbles because I'm staring at the wall where the tellers, what am I in the wrong building? I thought I was, I don't know what was going on there, but it freaked me out anyways. So, all right. Well, anyways, I think we touched up on some pretty good points there. And I think that's basically,
if you want to, just a quick wrap. So, I mean, because I know you wanted to talk about eXp and why it's worth joining, right? Whatever attracts you to this company, right? And I think you touched on it. And I do know there's a younger demographic that's attracted to this company. I think that the most successful agents that have landed here so far tend to be kind of in their late 20s, right? Until they're kind of mid to late 40s.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're, one, comfortable with technology, but they're also very independent mind focused. And a lot of them never did want or think that they would ever be in an office, right? I mean, and I think the only reason most realtors go to the office honestly, is like to communicate and huddle and be around other people.
Yeah.
This company has a different mindset. It's funny because there's another agent. A lot of agents have opened offices with eXp.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they do it because they are building their teams and they want a place where those people can kind of come and commune.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, the coolest part out of that is that we communicate. You're in Red Deer. I do the same thing with groups out of Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
out of Texas,
Yeah.
and out of California,
Yeah.
and now also out of Kim's hometown, Wichita. The reason that's cool is because that you could not do that with Remax or Royal Pay or any other company.
Yeah.
Nobody was interested in talking to you.
Yeah.
And why would you even want to talk?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's exactly what I love about eXp. Yeah. Like you said, we're in these meetings with these groups from all over North America, just learning, growing, and just.
It's not about just joining, right? I mean, you sort of get that maybe you join, maybe you don't, but if you want to find out more, talk to me, right? Yeah. And the other thing too, and we just ran into this in the last couple months, there's a couple realtors that now do real estate in more than one jurisdiction. Now, if you're with a Remax or somebody, you're going to be paying 2 desk fees. Mm-hmm. And the cost becomes really prohibitive. So if you've got a team that's practicing in more than one city, or you're a realtor that maybe practices in more than one city, mm-hmm. eXp is a way better cost structure.
Yeah,
because it's a blanket brokerage. I mean, my son Dexter is actually getting his license in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, he is, eh? Yeah. And basically also it would cost you your board fees. That's it, separate, right?
Exactly. And you can be like you can work from anywhere. Like you pick a city. Like if you're not. And for us here in Alberta, like I have really given a lot of thought to, well, is it, maybe it's time to kind of pull up stakes. Maybe one of us sort of sits here, right? Because the market, we know what the market's like in Alberta. It's not great, right? Well, 1 or 2 of our team goes down into a place where we want to kind of go a little warmer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Vegas
is far more fruitful, right?
Yeah,
and then you can sort of semi-retire at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So, and our websites too, on top of that, I don't know if I know they will be, or they are meant to be our one website. We can have access in multiple boards across North America.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a really good option. I think that's becoming it's one more tool that nobody else can offer.
Yeah. One more perk. That's my ultimate goal. Live in Vegas, Palm Springs. Hey, sell some real estate.
I'll look young in Palm Springs.
Yeah. So maybe someday, I don't know. That's the ultimate goal. When it was
goals.
After last week, the temperatures last week, I was really thinking about moving somewhere warmer.
Yeah. Cool.
Minus 30, minus 40.
Okay.
Well, anyways. Yep, that's it. Doug, thanks for joining me. Appreciate your comments, and it was great chatting with you.
Okay, thanks, Kyle.
Okay, have a good one.
You.